let's go over to what we have for today. We have a lot to discuss, but first we're going to start with the Senate faulting Natasha over seating arrangement disputes. Of course, the Senate spokesperson Yemi Adaramodu, which of course has faulted the action of his colleague Natasha over a seating arrangement dispute in the hallowed chamber. Natasha, who represented Kogi Central, ordered the People's Democratic Party refused to use the seats allocated to her, citing Order 10 of the Senate Standing Rules, which protects the privileges of members. At the height of the situation, Senate President Godwill Akpabio called on Senate security to walk the female lawmaker out of the chambers, but few lawmakers' intervention saved the situation from degenerating out of hand. Now, reacting to the incident, Adaramodu said the upper chamber is for serious business. He also said Adaramodu, who actually represents Ekiti South Senatorial District, also dismissed Senator Natasha's allegation of bullying. Now, but the Senate spokesperson ruled out disciplinary measures against her. He said her colleague from Kogi State, especially Senator Issa Jubril, had already tendered an apology on her behalf, and he assured that the 10th Senate wouldn't revisit the issue following the apology on Akpoti's behalf. Anyways, that's the talk. But there is a video just for those who have missed this video or did not see this video or probably do not even have an idea of what has been happening over the weekend. Let's quickly see the video and see what actually transpired in the Senate House. We'll be right back. Welcome back. That was what happened. Now, my first question is, she from her statement said they were trying to bully her. So my first question is, from that video, do you actually think she was bullied? And of course, I feel like she had a right to, when they changed the sitting position and everything, and she was not comfortable with the sitting position. But people are like, if she wanted to even have done that, which of course, Akpabio also said that, if she wanted to have even, fight against what had happened, there are a lot of ways she could have gone about it, because he said he has also experienced things like that where they'll change the seating, but this is not the right way to attack the issue. So they're like two questions in one. Do you think she was bullied, and do you think she could have even done it in a better way than, raising her voice in the chamber, at the chamber rather?
Hello, the Hello Chamber is meant for deliberation. It's meant for people who speak out, vocal individuals. People who know their rights. It is a place where laws are made. All right. So you are expected that those who are sent to the Senate or House of Assembly or House of Rep, as it were, are people who are capable of defending their position in one way or the other. That said, and I think the main issue is about sitting arrangement. And I have not been to Senate. I haven't had the opportunity to sit at the gallery and watch the plenaries. However, I know that when seats are changed, the lawmakers are pre-informed based on the development. And you're also aware that there have been cross-competing in the Senate in recent times. Therefore, that has to change. All right. Some people give up their positions in the other party by crossing over to the other party. And I think this has happened before. Like a lot of people cited over the weekend that Akpabi has also confronted Saraki in the 9th Assembly. Is it 8th Assembly? Over the same sitting arrangement when Akpabi was the minority leader and who decided to cross-competed to the APC, as it were, and therefore should have lost his where he's supposed to sit. And I think some of these things are done with bias in mind, because yes, you can see that the majority will always have their way, while the minority will have their say, as they say in the Allo chamber. So it's issue of bullying. Perhaps he's speaking based on antecedents or what she has also experienced in the past, and perhaps could now bring that into bullying. I didn't see any bullying, and I think she's actually lived up to her billing to become a lawmaker. There are so many individuals that would have quietly moved to another city without anybody hearing anything about it. And I think if we must continue to encourage our women to participate in politics, we must sincerely seem to have encouraged them, not by word of mouth, as it were. And I don't think what Natasha went through, to a point, and like I always say, nobody voted any Senate president from the public. Akpabio is just first among equal. So he is not bigger in terms of where he's coming from than Natasha. Natasha, table could turn tomorrow and Natasha could become. I remember today, who talks about Ahmed Lawan? Ahmed Lawan in the last assembly was a demigod, was a man who control everything. Today, who are about Ahmed Lawan? Also, the paper do not even focus on him. So I have always said it: when God gives you power, please use it well. Don't use it to. Akpabio is my brother. We're from the same state. He's from an Anang extraction. I'm from Oron extraction. So I feel that, and I see the way he loves his wife. I must bring that into the conversation. I see the way Akpabio would adore his wife, take his wife everywhere. And I think and Natasha is somebody's wife. You cannot obviously ask a security to throw. So if it was a man, I could actually stomach that. You cannot. I mean, you must find a way to placate this woman. He's trying to make a point for herself and her constituency. You cannot obviously ask the sergeant at arms to throw her out.
True.
All right. So I don't think it is encouraging enough for our women in politics to go into politics. Our women to go into politics, as it were. That kind of treatment. Yes, she has the right to speak up. All right. If she has crossed the line, there are house rules. All right. Senate orders are there. You can wield the big stick. But obviously asking for a martial law in the Senate for sergeant at arms, you should know that could dovetail into crisis. It could dovetail into fisticuff, and you as a Senate president will not be sitting there. So I think at this point we need to use discretion. In terms of the allegation of bullying, I wouldn't know. Adaramodu said, he says she are bullying her. She has she's a chairman of 3 committees. I don't know whether chairman of 3 committees was supposed to be a compensation for what? I mean, you are going there to do your job. Are there additional pecuniary benefits for being a committee chairman? What does that supposed to mean? The key officers in the Senate that we know are the Senate President, Deputy Senate President, Majority Leader, Deputy Majority Leader, Chief Whip, Minority Leader, and the rest of it. So every committee, the ruling party cannot I mean, we house all the committee chairmen to themselves. So it is not, as a matter of fact, I want to talk about the chairman of the chairman committee on media and communications. He didn't make a very good sense in that regard.
Okay, all right. At least thank God someone is speaking about. Like, I just wanted to know if a lot of people believed that because for the speaker who came out to say that she wasn't bullied. I did not believe that because from all indications, like you said, asking the security personnel to actually,
that's bullying
out,
now.
that obviously is bullying. But anyways, we still want to hear from Comrade. Comrade, what are your thoughts about what actually transpired at the Senate? And what do you think could have been the better way? Maybe Natasha or the Senate President could have handled the matter. Comrade, please.
Yeah, thank you so very much for trying to hear my input on these issues of national importance. First and foremost, the Senate President has not really heard, when a seat is reassigned, at the Hallowed Chamber, to any individual senator, because let us look at areas. I want to also look at some areas of focus regarding city arrangement. Specifically, Section 6.1 of the Standing Orders of the Senate, which grants the Senate President the authority, to allocate seats to senators. I want to tell you with all sense of humility that no senator left the senatorial district to come and have a permanent seat, or to come and anticipate having a permanent seat at the green chamber, or the red chamber. So it is when they get there, they have been elected among their colleagues, to hold certain key positions like the principal officers of the Senate. And being that as it were, the principal officers of the Senate or the National Assembly have a designated seat, that they are meant to sit on, which is even temporary. They are not permanent seats. Even the Senate President's seat is not permanent. If by tomorrow the Senate President is impeached, he leaves the seat and he goes down, comes to the floor of the National Assembly. So the Senate President actually have not heard, in reassigning or, redesignating a seat for Senator Natasha. It is not new, in the Senate, or the National Assembly. So senators should try, to always have the perseverance, because ordinarily it is possible that seat that Senator Natasha was being reassigned to was a seat that ordinarily majority of people surrounding that, seat in questions are people from maybe the ruling party, and she might not feel comfortable sitting with them. So, the politics, the internal politics in the National Assembly is people will always want to sit, amongst their party men or their party women or their fellow senators or their fellow members, so that whatever they are doing, they will feel comfortable. So if they are now shifted to a place that is alien to them, that is not, within the political structure of, the political party of whichever that senators or that member of the House of Representatives comes from, he or she may not feel comfortable. By the time, plenary is going on at the Senate, she will be, maybe she might be overwhelmed, by the presence or pressure of him, or her sitting amongst people who are not of his political linings. So ordinarily, she would have gone through the due process, of asking the Senate President or going through the rules of the House. The other time she stated actually is in contravention to that other 6.1 of the Senate standing rules, because it is, the Senate President is empowered, to allocate seats to whoever he believes, that we, whatever the case may be. So it's an exclusive right of the Senate President. You get it now. to do what he has done. But where I will not, come in agreement with what the Senate President have done, when he has asked the Sergeant at Arms, to throw out Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan, is, that is an highest level of high-handedness and executive rascality of the highest order. The Senate President have not acted well in that regard, irrespective of whether the senator is a woman or not. Even though if he's a man, the Senate President should have done that. He should have tread softly and used, every diplomatic means to at least address the issue. She should have allowed her, to have her say, and they should just listen quietly. And after she has taken, showed her disenchantment, and innuendos on whatever has happened within the Senate President, the Senate President should have just, tread softly and show a sign of leadership. So that is the kind of Senate President we are having. To me, Senator Godswill Akpabio is not my own favorite when it comes to, leadership of the House. And you will understand how we got, to the senators, to become the Senate President. So this is not a one-time executive governor, two-time executive governor, but legislative duties is different from being an executive governor. So you need to go more back and get more, training about how legislative matters, is being done in same climate and in developed countries. So Godswill Akpabio has not done well. He hasn't acted as a good leader. Thank you so very much.
I like the fact that everyone is tending to, understand that bullying is not acceptable. Of course, if this should continue, if something like this happen again, it could, make a lot of women who want to go into politics, stand down. But this is good. But I do not know. Do you think because, like he said, like the lawmaker said, who faulted Natasha, and of course said, excuse me, that there's nothing in as much as bullying happening there. Do you actually think that another lawmaker tendering an apology for Natasha, I feel like what they are trying to do is maybe they already know they are wrong, so they are trying to just take it that, okay, because somebody apologized for you, we won't take it against you, because they feel like they have no case. Do you think that is what is probably playing out now?
I didn't obviously see Natasha throwing insult around for someone to say there is an apology. Maybe the way she spoke and the chairman Senate Committee of Media saying that Senate is not for content creation. Senate has been for content creation much more than lawmaking.
Right.
Yes, I can't see any law yet that has direct impact on the average Nigerian of this country passed by the Senate. I have not seen it. The tax bill is still as controversial as ever. It has not been passed. I have not seen. Is in the same Senate that the Senate President said he sent prayer to people's email. I don't know how prayer is sent. I don't know if that is not a content creation. All right? It is in the Senate that people were making some sort of allegations about budget padding and not budget padding. All right, so the Senate has been, pardon me, correct me if I'm wrong, Senate has been more of content creation than lawmaking. That's my own personal perception. That is my own personal opinion. That's my point of view, and I feel that yes, perhaps what Natasha has done could actually correct future infractions in that regard. And when a seat needs to be moved, people need to be informed why it is so. That's why we have the clerk of the House. Clerk should write to all the members. What is the job of a clerk in the Senate? So in the end, yes, despite the fact that the Senator Godswill Akpabio has the right to allocate seats, but those things, those rights must be done with utmost sense of responsibility, almost sense of, so that at the end of the day, people who do not belong to your party, and I remember how Akpabio accused the Bukola Saraki's Senate as a den.
Yeah.
That because he has left PDP, that's why they want to victimize him. So it's neither here nor there. And I think for someone who has been executive governor of a state for 8 years, you should have enough know-how to handle such issues. Having managed a whole state for 8 years, you should be. I mean, 109 members shouldn't be a problem for you to handle.
When you have thousands of people that you are.
So I understand that you are first among equal, and the kind of power you wielded during as a governor isn't the same, because at the snap of a finger you could be removed by just the majority.
Which brings me to the not like a conclusion, to the talk whereby a lot of people in the comment section were actually stating the fact that maybe because he has ruled as a governor for over 8 years, you understand, so he feels that that same power is what he will exhibit in the Senate House, and that was why he could not see any other option or any other way to handle the issue than to tell a security personnel to take her out, because they feel like that was extreme. So maybe he's still feeling that he's still the state government.
We have a senior president in this country that was a general in the army, David Mark. He didn't show all those military might. He didn't. I mean, he really would have a lot of controversy around him. David Mark, if you remember him, he was a general in the army. All right. So at the end of the day, because you were the governor, doesn't give you the rights to become arbitrary.
True.
All right. So in the end, I feel that for us to continue to encourage our women, which I still believe are better leaders than men, that is my own point of view. In a political setting, women are still better leaders. That's why it gives me more concern when I see what is happening to this lady in Lagos State. Every day, everybody keeps talking about him resigning. The Merinda, the speaker in Lagos State. Why can't you allow? Why don't you give her the opportunity to see what she can bring to the table? Why? We have governor a man, we have deputy governor a man. Before we have speaker a man. Why can't you give a woman an opportunity to see what she can bring to the table beyond being your whatever in the other room or cooking for you? I still believe that, because when I was growing up, my mother was a better homekeeper than my dad. I'm not afraid to say that. Yes, the man brought all the money, but all the things she achieved in terms of building a house, in terms of doing things, choice of school that children were going to suit the income of the family, it was taken by the woman. So I know that the women should be given an opportunity, and actions like this could actually limit our women from coming out. It's my personal opinion.
Yes, of course, yes, definitely. If we keep saying things like this, it could just take us, back into where we feel we belong and feel like, okay, this space is not for us. But